Let's take a look at a few simple finesse techniques that I find useful and that I use quite frequently if the bite gets tough or just to catch a lot of fish. Finesse fishing, you can catch a lot of fish of different sizes from 6 ounces to 6 pounds on small line and small baits. The thing that's unique about finesse fishing is that it does not require a certain size fish to eat a certain size product. That's what makes finesse fishing so much fun, and especially for kids. It gets them involved. They can use a small bait. They feel like it's better and fit to their size, and you can get a child out and throw some of these baits, and they can catch anything from 6 ounces up to as big as fish lives in that lake will eat a finesse bait. That's a total misconception about finesse fishing, is it doesn't catch big fish. I've caught lots of 6 and 7 pound bass throwing 4-inch worms in Oklahoma. First off, the shaky head. This specific shaky head is made by Jewel Jigs. It's called the squirrel head after Jeff Crete, the Elite Series fisherman. This is a very small, thin-wired hook that allows for light line. That's one of the reasons they chose such a light hook, is so that you could throw 4 and 6 pound tests with this hook and get hook penetration without having to do much other than just pull into the fish. This is a great bait for children to throw because children just need time to learn how to set a hook, and this bait, just by putting tension on it because it's such a thin wired hook, is just naturally going to hook the fish pretty easily. So basic concept of a shaky head is pretty simple. It's no different than your Texas rig. Just push it on about 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch. Push that up over the barb on the shaky head. There's a little barb right there in the head, and just kind of tap it till you feel that barb poke through the plastic. And then just simply take the hook, like we talked about in the Texas rig, scrunch up the bait just a little bit, and just get that hook to where it's just almost getting ready to poke out of the plastic on the other side. There again, it's just like the Texas rig. It's very important to get the plastic as straight on the head as possible, because this allows your bait to work like it's supposed to, and 2 is you don't get as many line twists. That's your basic shaky head setup. It's very simple, very easy to use. Can be fished on spinning tackle, and also can be fished on bait casting gear. Zipco 33s, just about anything you can think of. This is a great bait, a good multi-purpose bait, and it'll catch fish everywhere. The second finesse technique that I want to look at is something that I've kind of developed myself. It's called a slip shot. It's a little bit different than a split shot rig. I found the split shot rig was a little bit tedious. I was always nervous because I was actually crimping something onto my line and damaging my line, and the process of damaging my line with a split shot, even with the split shots that have the rubber core in them, that I would break off, and I did frequently with the split shot rig. Most people aren't familiar with bobber stops. This is a product that you can buy at Bass Pro Shops that are commonly used for slip corks. Bobber stops have been around for a long time. And this is actually a Bass Pro Shops brand. Looks kind of silly, but each one of these on this wire is actually a stop for a bobber. So what I do is I get a bullet weight, because typically when you're throwing a split shot, or my version of slip shot rig, you're using small weights and 1 and 2/0 hooks. You're not using anything bigger than that. I'm basically making a miniature Carolina rig minus the swivel. So what I do is I just simply slide my weight on first. Just a regular bullet weight. I take my line, and these bobber stops actually have little loops at the top of them. They're real simple to use. You just put your line through the loop and then double it over, and then pull that bobber stop onto your line. And it goes right on there. Boop. Get your line back out of your bobber stop. I usually cut that little piece off there. So now my bobber stop is on the line. That will not move on the line. It stays in place really well. It's tied on the line. And I go ahead and push that on up the line a little bit, and then I tie my small hook on. So now I have my hook tied on. As you can see, I have the bobber stop in the middle, and I have my bullet weight in the front. So basically what that bobber stop allows me to do is I have a gap that I've created with the bobber stop and the weight and the hook. And you can simply take your hand and slide the bobber stop right up the line to adjust your leader length. I usually don't go above a 3/16 ounce bullet weight, and the reason for that is typically I'm throwing this on small line in a finesse type presentation, meaning 8 pounds of line or less. Now, one thing that I will tell you that I found with this technique is that you can't cast this too hard, because once this line gets a little bit wet, it will push the bobber stop down if you try to make a super long cast with it. So it just needs to be a normal, easy, smooth cast with this presentation, and that kind of keeps the bobber stop in place.